Hello, everybody. It's April finally, and we went past the April Fool's Day without a lot of issues, I guess. I hope, everybody. Um, I'm finally feeling more to normal after the second dose of the COVID vaccine I had. I can tell you that my second dose side effects were much stronger than for the first dose, but I'm glad because it means it's really whipped into action my immune system, and it's just, like a very, very, very mild taste of what might happen if we don't get the vaccine, and it's a very small price to pay for the peace of mind. So in about 12 days from now, I'll be able to be more able to get out and go see my doctors and everything, and I'll finally get all the shots that I used to get, like I don't have yet scheduled for my cervical spine, but I do have it scheduled for my shoulders and my back muscles, and I don't know if they're gonna do the wrists too. I can tell you that Finnegan didn't go to sleep yet, so he's walking around here squeaking his displeasure of not getting enough attention, as much attention as he wants. Finnegan, come here. Finnegan, come to mama. Come to mama. Come on. Come to mama. No, he's gonna be here in a couple of minutes. I just don't want to get up. So let's see what happened in the last month and what will happen in the future. And hi Elaine, hi Karen, hi Ermi. So hi Patricia, hi Colleen. As awesome news, number one, Pardo is coming back to the US, and PolyClay, of course, will be carrying it. And not only that, but Trish will be carrying also Cernet. And she started listing them. She doesn't have all of them listed yet. But if you check PolyClay, it's already showing some Cernet. Hi Catherine, hi Judy, hi Sarah, hi Silver. So even if Premo will still be not very available, we still have like 3 other brands of clay. The other big news is that I am going to get, hi Panda, hi Evelyn, I'm going to get a box of, I don't know if you ever heard of Papa's clay. It's a new clay on the market, and I am getting a box of it to test it and to see what can be done with it. I will be collaborating with one of Papa's Clay's people, and it means that in the future Trish PolyClay will be carrying that as well. So it's all so darn exciting. Hi Panda, hi Evelyn. So it's going to be awesome. The only thing she'll still have to look for is the cosplay, huh? But anyway, now that hopefully I'm out of it, my only thing, as you know, I'm still battling the fatigue, but hopefully with the shots that I'm going to get on the 19th, the level of pain will be lower. So it's going to be much better, because I don't need to tell the ones of you who do have chronic pain how much it tires you. Okay. The only thing that's going to take some of my time at this point, during this month, will be my garden that was very much completely abandoned last year because I was so worried about, people walking by and the wind and stuff, and I was afraid of getting infected with the virus. And I'm sorry, but I cannot garden with a mask on. You know, I mean, it's a lot of physical effort, and I don't get enough air. Okay, he went in he's got his own personal litter box that he's not sharing with the other two, is here. So he's going to, yeah, I already got me some herb seeds, because normally, and that didn't happen last year, normally I make my own pesto. I get several kinds of basil planted, and no, I didn't try the artesa clay yet. I don't know, I wasn't very interested in it at the time, but as you know, there was a whole bunch of stuff going for me, and then with not being able to get all my doctor's appointments, I mean in-person doctor's appointments, and doing everything, it was. But anyway, as I was saying, I got enough, and this afternoon I'm going to be planting, and I might actually get some petunias. I have a Lowe's very close to me, and I looked, and they do have a pickup option, so I might ask my yeah, they still sprout. I had seeds that were 10 years old, and they still sprouted. Of course, they didn't have any more 90% germination, but they still sprouted. And I have a whole bunch of work to be done on my dog run. I need to put the weed killer again, and I need to practically probably cut down the privet bush that was very destroyed with the February ice storm we had. But yeah, and everything needs a lot of work. I'll probably have to recruit some neighborhood teenagers who are always in search of a little bit of pocket money. So I'm going to go on the nextdoor.com, my neighborhood, to see who I can find. But yeah, it's much better, and I am glad that I'm able to walk again, because again, I was worried about walking. And I did order some regular K9 95s. Of course, you can still not find N95s, but my respirator, once I'll get the full vaccine immunity 2 weeks after the second dose, I think will be a little bit of overkill. I'm still on the lookout for the Razer mask. In case you don't know about the Razer mask, I am going to show you. Razer is a gaming company, right? But as I was saying long time ago, it was like, I don't know, April, May last year, that a Japanese company had invented a mask with a voice amplifier, because that's the main issue when you wear a mask, you have to yell. Anyway, Razer's been working on a mask that's theoretically was more for like gamers, and to be able to excuse me, to be able to go in gaming conventions and stuff, but it has entered production, and it has all kinds of things. So this is Project Hazel. It comes with filters and all kinds of other things. It's got voice amplification, and let me see. As you can see it here.
Today, we have donated more than 1 million. We see the need for faith.
Okay, so this is the mask itself.
For safety, the mask is classified as surgical N95 respirator.
You can see it's got the very fine filters.
Against droplets and splashes. Its active ventilation brings in cool air and releases heat produced from exhaling.
And I am absolutely thrilled to get it. So if you are a nerd like me, you might want to look into it. It's called Project Hazel, and it's on the Razer website. But it has, as I said, it's got filters. It's equivalent of an N95 professional, not the KN95. And with voice amplifiers, with filtration system, with all kinds of stuff. So, and it's going to be partially transparent, thing of which the lipstick makers are going to be very happy about, because as you can imagine, the lipstick market has taken a plummet, because nobody is going to spend money on lipstick if they are wearing masks, right? Anyway, so getting back a little bit to the coronavirus research in general, what I wanted to tell you is that even if you got vaccinated, the best thing is to still wear a mask, because at this point it is presumed that the existing vaccines can protect you from the variants, but don't forget that variants appear every day. And what you have to think about is, number one, the more infections you have, the more and especially the more infections among people who have low immunity systems or are somewhat impaired from other reasons, the more chances of new variants there are, because obviously variants appear when the virus mutates. There's a percentage of so much for so many, when the virus divides and reproduces and everything, there's a certain percentage. So the more the virus reproduces, the more mutations there will be. And thank you, Susan. And out of all these mutations, obviously there's a very small percentage of mutations who survive, because it's exactly, it's the evolution. But out of the ones, if there are more mutations, then the percent of the ones who will survive and be more infectious or more deadly is much higher. The other thing is that by the law of nature, the more deadly viruses will kill more people, but that will be for a while, because infectious parasitic type organisms that kill their hosts are not a next step in evolution. Parasitic, like viral organisms that are able to infect a host and survive for a long time, they are a next step in evolution. So as you probably started hearing or reading online and everything, the number of Longhaulers is increasing. Not only that, but the number of infections in younger people is increasing. And I can show you, and I live in a pretty much what's considered a boondock state, right? I know Oklahoma is fairly backwards, you know, don't get me wrong, much better than a lot of other places on earth, obviously, but it's not one of the super duper states, obviously. But what I wanted to show you is the when it comes to active infections. Give me just a second. And the Department of Health website is not the best, obviously. I'm waiting for it to update. Okay, let me get on the display. So as you can see, when it comes to total cases, and this is not even active cases, right now it's a much larger gap. As you can see, the highest number of cases is for ages 18 to 35. It's not in the elderly, and it's much higher than any other group. Practically the 65 and older are the fourth tier in number of cases. And it's not actually number of cases, it's percentage of the population. So that is a biggie there, because the baby boomers are dying, right? And with the baby boomers dying, the percentage of the population that is larger will start going back to the younger people. And when you have much larger number of younger people who get the infection, you have more chances of the virus replicating, and more chances of mutations, and more chances of viable mutations, and so on and so forth. And where I wanted to get with that is that the percentage of long haulers also is much higher in the younger generations than in the older generations. So it's again, get back to, yeah, and I read a couple studies where people who were long haulers had the vaccine, and then they got rid of all those severe effects that they had after having COVID. So, but there's all kinds of things that are still being discovered, like for example, there have been recently published studies that show that actually the lining of the mouth and the cells of the gums and the tongue get infected. And as you know, there had been studies showing that the coronavirus breaches the blood barrier to the brain. So they are now trying to figure out if that loss of smell and taste is due to the brain being affected, or the fact that the cells in the mouth lining are being affected, or... Hi, Silver Moon. But yeah, there are more and more and more things that are being found out, and things, I mean, yeah, being vaccinated is very reassuring, but where I want to get, don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable yet. Hi, Anna. And I don't think, as I said, when this whole thing started, and I said from the start, we will never get back to the normal. And you have to think about this. Why all the scientists and all the science world has been talking about this kind of pandemic for years. And if you look, I forgot if it was on Amazon Prime or Netflix or in HBO or wherever, there was a documentary, if you want. It wasn't really a documentary because it wasn't dealing with stuff that happened. It was dealing with stuff that might happen, and the name was Pandemic. And they were explaining that at any moment we can have a pandemic worse than anything that has existed before. And why does that happen? And I go back to the same thing that I was saying about how mutations and virus variants happen. Because if you think, a lot of you are in your 50s and your 60s and your 70s, a lot of the people who are watching me. Think about how many people were around you and when you were going to the store and everything when you were 10 or even 20, and how many people there are now. The more people, even with regular cold virus, the regular coronavirus, that again nobody is able to get a vaccine for because it mutates so fast. We know it's a type of coronavirus, it's a type of virus, it's a type of coronavirus, but because it only gives you a mild cold, But think about this. The more people there are, the more chances that a perfectly innocent virus, a virus that wasn't bothering maybe 1 in a million people, has the chance to mutate into a virus that would cause a pandemic. Because there's so many of us, and that's why I said from the start of this pandemic, we'll never get back to the normal we had before. And it's something that we need to get to stop being in denial about, to stop holding false hope for. Yes, with a lot of care and with vaccinations and a lot of because look at this, as I heard of, don't you see that it's not that bad, even the flu went down. Well, duh, it's an airborne virus, and if you wash your hand and social distance and wear a mask, of course you're not going to get as many flu cases. But again, if we keep doing what we are doing, our chances of being decimated within a year by one of these potential, and again, the potential risk increases almost exponentially as humanity's numbers increase. But we need to cope with the new normal. Even if I was telling you a long time ago that I hate this whole notion of a new normal, because your mind, your psyche, your soul will never accept this as normal. Okay? A lot of people can call it normal. A lot of people who will be born or were born when they were still too young when all this happened, for them that will be normal. But this is something we need to adapt to, the same way as we adapt to if we have a severe illness that leaves us with severe disabilities or complications, like, a lot of you had cancer or have some kind of disability, and you had to adapt and you had to learn how to live with it. The soonest we stop the denial, the soonest we stop fighting it. I mean, I'm not talking about fighting the good fight, the social distancing, the vaccine, the mask. I'm talking about fighting against the existence of it, the denying the existence of it, and the soonest we stop that, the soonest we are going to have a chance. Okay. In theory, I completely agree with you, Karen, because all my life I was a vegetarian, or almost a vegetarian. And being raised in a country in which I think it's about at least 3 months a year, it's pure veganism by tradition. Unfortunately, since I had chemo, my metabolism got so messed up that if I want to not weigh 600 pounds, I have to eat low carb, high fat, and that is impossible to do without meat. I hate it. But yeah, the more, are we going to ever get to that? I was talking about that a few lives ago. The Isaac Asimov, the Aurora planet, where Aurora was a robot manufacturing planet, but on the whole planet there were only 20,000, 30,000 people. Not Aurora. No, not Aurora. Solaris. Solaria. Never mind. And the book was in the Foundation series, and it was The Naked Sun. But about 20,000 people. And they wouldn't they were living through holograms. There were like 20,000 people on the whole planet, and they had huge estates. Everything was controlled by robots, but because of the scarcity of human interaction, in time their society evolved with no human interaction, and they were trying to avoid it as much as possible. And it's not impossible that we might get there, not in our lifetime, obviously, but it's going to take a lot of evolution to do that. But anyway, what can we personally do? Just try to cope as well as we can while keeping ourselves and others healthy, because remember, if you don't care about others, you increase the chance that a variant of the virus will appear that might come back and bite your ass. Pardon my French. Anyway, in other news, by what I was looking, there are several new medications that are being tested around the globe. Not only that, but the UVC light, which normally we don't have at ground level because it gets filtered by the atmosphere. There are several types of UV rays. And I think I did put some in my influencer store. There's a section that says COVID-19. Let me make sure. Let me get to it. It should be more towards the top. By the way, if you have any kind of suggestions about the way that I am organizing my Amazon influencer store, please let me know, and I'll see if it is possible to do something about that. Let me see. So what I did there, we have here all kinds of stuff for COVID. They don't have anymore the kind of respirator that I first bought, but I did add here some, my respirator. Actually, it's kind of like this one, and only that the one that I got is a little bit of a higher grade, so it's the equivalent of an N95. It might look a little bit uncomfortable to wear, but I can assure you it's not bad at all, and you can get special filters to replace the filters inside. And then these, I added a couple UVC lamps that if you go with them over stuff, and including something that looks like a little Roomba that goes all over your bed and all over your carpet and all over everything. Let me make sure I don't get to disinfect your stuff. But the other thing that what I wanted to say is the fact that they are now researching. They found out that certain frequencies of ultrasound destroys the spikes of the protein spikes of the virus, which is awesome, and that's valid for all coronaviruses. Now, of course, they are going to have to do a lot of, but if you remember, in a lot of this is not just a simple theory, and if you remember, in a lot of the sci-fi books and movies, people have sonic showers to get disinfected, to get clean, to get, so yeah, sound can affect a lot of these things. Now, where are we? So what can we do? Again, if you already got vaccinated, still keep your thing. Don't stop wearing a mask. Avoid still being in very close proximity to others besides your family. Travel only if necessary, until we get a better grasp on this whole thing, because as you can see, the whole world is kind of experiencing a resurgence. But when it comes to what can we do, I have a few questions that have been asked of me in emails and messages and all kinds of stuff. Give me a second, let me start my massager so I can be a little bit more comfortable. A lot of people are complaining about losing their inspiration, and it is normal. It is normal to get in a little bit of a funk, but depending on what latitude you're living at, the fact that spring has come, and especially if you got your vaccine, try to go outside, try to enjoy the sun, try to enjoy the birds, try to enjoy the greenery, try to enjoy everything, and you'll see you need to do. Yeah, see, that's the good thing about my respirator. Let me go and bring it, actually, because I want to show you something. Okay, so the problem with these, the only problem with these, there's two problems with these, three, but one of them is common with everything. So number one is the fact that because the straps go over your head, it's pretty much forget about hairdos if you want to have any kind of curly or buns or whatever. It's gonna look like crap. Number two is the thing with the smell. Since this pandemic started and I started wearing the respirator, I cannot buy pineapples, I cannot buy peaches, I cannot buy cantaloupes, because I cannot smell them. Smell doesn't go through this. I mean, I can honestly tell you that I cannot smell farts with this. Why I know? Because it happened that somebody close to me most likely farted, because people were commenting. They're like, okay, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And the third thing comes from the Pro that it has, because see how it's got all this seal of silicone rubber. When you put it on after you wear it a couple times, it's going to practically, because it kind of goes, you can see the lines, it kind of molds to your face. And you have it's absolutely airtight, completely airtight, because it goes right under your chin here. And because it is airtight, there's no fogging glasses. The only problem is that if you're hot, it's going to start sweating around these. But otherwise, it's absolutely fine. Oh yeah, and trying to cry in it, it's horrible. Because I know I cried in it when I had to put Whisper to sleep, and I was practically trying to breathe in my own snot. So, yeah, it's not a good experience. But anyway, and the main, so why I prefer to wear this besides anything else is because of the filters. They're a P something, I forgot, which is like an N99, not an N95. The fact that it's perfectly sealing, and the fact that I can breathe. Yeah, it's got valves, but they are covered by filters. But by the same token, it allows me to breathe properly, because the filters are the non-woven kind, as I said. Oh, you brought Mama a toy? You brought Mama a toy? Yes, he brought me a toy. He's so much like a dog, you have no idea. But he's getting exceptionally spoiled. And we got scheduled for the beginning of May to go get his vaccine boosters and get his kidneys and urine checked after his surgery. Come on, Finnegan, come to Mama. Come to Mama. Yes, my sweet baby. Come here. He wants to get me to him. Okay. Yes, I know. You're gorgeous. You're so adorable. You're my sweet pea. Here you go. Here's sweet Finnegan. Yes, see, there's a microphone. There's a microphone. Hold on, people want to see you and your fuzzy belly. Leave the microphone alone, Finnegan. And everybody's saying that he's grown so big. I'm going to try and show you. This is his neck. It's about 2 inches in diameter. So he's actually, as I said, a very tiny cat. Yes. Mama loves you. Mama loves you. You wanna get down? You wanna get down? But he's like a little doggy. And when I wasn't feeling good because of the vaccine, he guarded me and watched over me to make sure I'm good. Yes, my sweet baby. Yes, Mama loves you. Mama loves you. Okay. We go down? We go down? Go play. Go play. Yeah, it was hilarious on him. But anyway, let's get back to the whole production. I'm going to do, because it shouldn't be a long thing, Finnegan here. I'm going to do some resin with flowers that you can find outside. And again, if you cannot go outside, let me get in the influencer store. Now remember, you can help me by buying stuff from my influencer store, Amazon influencer store, or just whenever you have to buy stuff on Amazon. If you get on Amazon through my influencer store and you buy the whole things in one go without changing your prices, I will get a little bit of a commission, and a few cents here and a few cents there add up. But what I wanted to show you is in the whole resin thing, if you look, let's get back to display. As I said, the resin is arranged with first casting resin, and it will be hard resin and soft resin, which is sometimes is on, sometimes is not. So as you can see, this one is only in the small kind. I don't think they have it in the large bottles. No, they don't have it in the large bottles. So it's casting soft resin. Then I have some polyester and fiberglass resin. Then it comes the UV resin, that's first in the hard resin and also in the soft resin. And by the way, remember that Trish still has some soft resin in her in PolyClay play. And then there are pigments that are both for casting resin and for UV resin. Remember, for UV resin you need transparent pigments. Like, see where it says here, some of these are for polyester resin, but they work in the regular Chinese resin as well. And then after that I have all kinds of little tools to use, from the little silicone pads that you can use to keep your stuff clear, to little torches, disposable syringes, disposable blunt tip needles, all kinds of stuff. And then there's UV lights, and even these small little levels to make sure that you have your stuff is perfectly level. And then come all kinds of molds special for resin, and on some of them I've shown them before, but I'll get back to it. But what I wanted to show you, that at the very end of this I have placed all kinds of inclusions. And yes, there are a few sets that have both inclusions and molds, or some of them even have the resin, but after that there's all inclusions. And I do have some of these, and I have something in project. But what I wanted to show you is that there are these itty bitty dried flowers that they are for nail art, right? But they make great inclusions in regular resin jewelry, not just in the nails. And if you don't have a yard to pick stuff out of, you can get some of these, and they are, as you can see right now, they are on these ones are not, but these ones are on sale, so you can get quite a bit of these. And honestly, right now it looks like this one is a better deal because you get 3 times the amount for the same amount of money almost. But anyway, and besides these, there are all kinds of other inclusions and stickers and all kinds of stuff that you can use, and I've shown them before, but I promise you we'll start doing more resin and more of other. And I even got this. I don't know if you've watched the painted resin 3D effects thingies, like, see, like this. I did get some of these sheets. I put them in the store, and we'll try and make something like that. Okay, so let's get back here and let's get back on track. Okay, yes, I have all kinds of inclusions and threads and hair-like stuff and glitter and all kinds of things. I'm not sure if I have, give me just a second, because I'm not sure if I did add it. I do have a UK Amazon store, but I'm gonna be honest with you, in the last couple months I didn't go through it, so I'm not sure if I have a COVID thing with it. I'm gonna have to make a COVID with it, because, by the way, and I have Amazon influencer stores in pretty much most of the major ones. It's supposed to, Amazon is supposed to give you a full link that would encompass all your influencer stores, but apparently it doesn't really work that good. So unless you know the exact link, this is the UK influencer store. As you can see, the only thing that changes is the what's after Amazon. If it's .com, .co, .uk, if it's the France, but after that it's /shop/ Kalyana design tutorials. So Finnegan, he started zooming all over the house. Finnegan, what are you doing? He's horrible. I told you, he's getting so spoiled. But yeah, that's my advice to you. If you have any kind of block, I can tell you that I can't wait to get outside and work some more, because myself, I'm feeling like I have no motivation, you know, to do much stuff. Finnegan! He got all the carpet runners up, and he goes on the carpets. I don't know if you've seen videos of him on his Facebook page, but he likes, that's one of his games. He goes, because I have several carpets around the house on top of the regular carpet, and he goes and tunnels under the carpet. So I have to be very careful when I walk around the house, make sure that there's no bump so I wouldn't step on him. But anyway, that's my only thing right now. And the other thing that I'm trying to do, and as I said, this is one of my therapies, is cleaning. Because, and it's a matter of also, you know, that new age spirituality and stuff. Thank you, Maya. But I see the whole thing as getting myself and my house rid of negative stuff. So I'm cleaning the house, I'm cleaning the furniture, I'm cleaning the lamps, I mean whatever I can catch to clean, I'm cleaning, even if it's tiring, if it's, but after I'm pretty much done with the cleaning, I feel so much better. Of course, after I recover from being, okay, I vacuumed the living room, I need to rest. But that is also a good thing. At least to me, it gives me a new perspective. If I have clean and organized surroundings, I feel so much better. You know, and it's the other thing, you know, how if you are into all this spiritual, new age, pagan stuff, remember one thing. No matter how much incense and saging and stuff you do, you cannot cleanse a space that is not physically clean. Okay? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. You know how they see all kinds of stuff and they scare the heck out of you. But anyway, it's been nice with them. I don't know if you've watched, I posted recently a video on Finnegan's Facebook. He tried a few times to assert himself in front of Connor. Is trying, you know, as he's getting more adult, because he's like a year and a half old now. In 1st of April he was a year and a half, because he's born on October 1st. He's trying to assert himself, and he asserted himself over Seamus, okay, but with Connor it ain't working. And I posted recently, and actually I can just for fun, I can translate for you if you're not used to this kind of language. I'm thinking of redoing this with a little bit of subtitles. Give me just a second. Okay, let's go back to display. Okay, but this is what happens when Finnegan tried to assert himself on Connor. If you have seen cats before doing this, so he's trying to, because they are looking at each other, tails are flailing, ears are towards the back, and they look at each other. Remember, the first one who looks away has lost. Finnegan looks away. Connor is still staring at him. Finnegan tries to stare him some more, then looks away, then tries to find another angle, moves a little bit and starts back to tries to stare at him, and it's not working, starts to move away, and Connor's gonna give him a kick over the head and turn around and stare at him again. To make sure he learned his lesson, Finnegan is trying to keep the stare, but finally, like, okay, I didn't mean that. I was just trying to say something, but I'm sorry. So he's looking away again. Connor's not stopping staring at him. And Finnegan more and more says, okay, I didn't mean that. I'm not trying to do anything. And he gets calm and lays down. And only after Finnegan lays down, that's when Connor stops staring him down and lays down too. So it's very interesting to watch them doing this. It's really, really hilarious. So as I said, I should probably do this with subtitles, you know. It would be really interesting. Okay, so when it comes to, if you want to start buying Cernet and buying Pardo and buying, I need to do all-encompassing conditioning for clays and update, because remember I do have which clay to pick for beginners, where I talked a little bit about all the differences. And if you haven't watched it, this is it, and I'm going to update it a little bit because there's been more stuff that has shown up, and I want to be a little bit more thorough about it. And the same when it comes to, I need to be a more encompassing, do a more encompassing conditioning thing. But yeah, Cernet is not super duper terrific for canes. It's absolutely wonderful for mica shifts, for sculpting flowers, for doing mokumegane, for sculpting in general. It has beautiful, but it's a more softish clay, so it's not that terrific for canes. Fimo Professional is, well, Kato is the best for canes, but if you have weak hands, you're gonna have some problems. So I recommend Fimo Professional, which Trish also has, for canes, and for any other work, Cernet. Now, both Cernet and Pardo, they buff the best of all clays. They will be the shiniest, and especially if you're trying to do imitation gemstone, they are the best of all. If you're trying to do imitation metal, your bet is Pardo. This is why their line is called jewelry line, and she'll have soon. Pardo has already been ordered, but it's gonna take about a month at least before it's gonna get in the store, because COVID and shipping and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, they cannot ship polymer clay on a plane, so they have to send it by ship. So anyway, it's going to be a while, but we're gonna have Pardo. So will the other ones, the other question I had, will the other ones work with the silicone, the liquid silicone and stuff, you know, like this from Scalpy? And Cernet has one too. That's a newer thing. Everything works with that. The only one that I do not advise you to use it on is Pardo, because Pardo is pure wax based and all it needs is to be warmed up. Pardo, as I showed, I have I still have Pardo that's like, I don't know, 14, 15 years old, and I can still use it as long as it's nicely warmed and you start. That's the deal with Pardo. And if you look, I do have special Pardo conditioning tutorials. If you know to start with it on a thin, very thin slice, you have absolutely no problem. Only if it's half baked, you're gonna have problems with it, but otherwise no. So tomorrow we are going to do, I know I usually don't do religious stuff, but I still, you know, some decorations and things I'm still going to do, as I did, you know, like pagan things before, and I did those resin crosses with the opal effect. So I thought, let me show you another way of using your scrap clay, making pretty crucifixes that you can put for your put above your bed or wherever you decide to put it. And we're gonna do that tomorrow, and I'm going to have one already prepared, because we're gonna do the simple thing, and then I'll show you if you want to add some roses or something, because it's Easter for the Western Christians. As I said, my Easter is going to be beginning of May because I was born an Eastern Orthodox. So it's a Yeah. They keep coming and going, and if you didn't find it again, the moon kitty is not there, the dragon kitty, moon kitty. Because I know I had found another one and I replaced the one that wasn't there, but if it has disappeared, I need to go again and look for it. But Trish might bring some of the kitties soon. Let me check. No, the kitty is there. The kitty is there. It's got the regular kitty and the dragon kitty, the one with horns. Oh, the moon kitty, I see what you're talking about. The one with the moon, the star, and the paw prints. Yeah, I see it's not there. I see there's like 3 of them here that have disappeared. That's the problem with the Chinese vendors. They have something and then it's there for a few months and then it completely disappears, or they list something else under the same listing number, and you have a resin mold in your influencer store, and when people click on it, they find underwear. Anyway, I'll have to get back go again through there are several of the items in the influencer store that I have to go through all the time, like the molds, some of the textures, some of the resins. So yeah, and I have it. We'll get to that, I promise you. Anyway, I'm gonna go and lay down for like half an hour, and then I need to get out in the garden and do some stuff. And as I said, I want to run real quick to Lowe's, if not today then tomorrow, to get me some petunias, because I need my petunias. Last year I didn't get any, and I normally every year I used to go through all the stores that have nurseries and get all the colors of petunias I could find, and it was a joy in my front yard. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow as usual, as 12:30 Central Daylight Time. Don't forget, if you just found my channel, to subscribe. I'll be here every Sunday, and I'm starting slowly to get back on track with posting at least weekly tutorials, but it's taking me a little bit, because, by the way, I am so out of shape with not being able to go outside and walk and garden and stuff, that I go in the garden, I pull weeds out for 5 minutes, and I'm pooped. Okay, don't forget to thumbs up me. And remember, you can contact me here in the community tab on Facebook. If you go on the About Me on the channel, you can find all my links, and you can send me emails and everything. Thank you, and early happy Easter, and I'll see you all. And by the way, tomorrow we'll have another gift certificate giveaway for PolyClay play, so you'll be able to get some clay for yourself real soon. Okay, thank you, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.